What up, righteous people? Listen, smack that like button if you were inspired by that intro. All the things that are available to us. I mean, there was just shooting in there, so you got bird hunting in there, got fishing in there, flying light aircraft in there, motorcycling. What else we got? Oh, just the boating thing with the dogs. And then the one picture you saw of the, hiking the Appalachian Trail. You know, can't say it doesn't cost anything, but you can get out on the Appalachian Trail and hike for nothing. You can do a lot of these things. Get out there, enjoy all the precious opportunities that we have. Oh, I was going to say, the one thing that you saw with Rochelle looking over at the pilot, that was actually a helicopter that we were taking island hopping in the Seychelles, which is like, but listen, it just happens to be that that's what we did for a career before we started this homesteading piece. And so we were overseas anyway, and so we just popped down to the Seychelles. And when we landed, they said, oh, it's going to be X number of hours before the next boat comes and picks you up. And we were on a limited time, so we were like, oh man, forget that. Any other opportunities? They said, yeah, you can go across the helicopter, but it's going to cost you $1,000. We were like, yeah, friggin' $1,000. It's a lot of jack just for a 20-minute flight. But as good things happen, that was $1,000. When we landed, the manager was there, whole staff was there, because it was something that usually only high rollers do. All these people were there. Well, they were sort of embarrassed that we come in on a helicopter and we're in like the lowest rent room. So they upgrade us. It would have cost us over $3,000 to upgrade. It only cost us $1,000 for the ride. So we got the ride and the upgrade for $1,000. Just the upgrade would have cost us like $3,500. So sometimes it's smart to invest in yourself, and then it works out. And that's what we're doing here. So this channel, you got that right. Oh yeah. So what you're going to see here are all of the things that you just saw. But you're also going to see sort of a homesteading piece. We live in Southern Virginia, Williamsburg. But we also bought a property in Tennessee, Eastern Tennessee, apparently like everybody else. So it's 45 acres. It's beautiful, really beautiful. Got this little farmhouse with it. Coming up this way, got a shed and a nice, beautiful barn. That barn was Dolly Parton shot a movie in that barn. Anyway, because we're not very far from Sevierville, if you know this area, which is just north of a Pigeon Forge, and Dollywood, and then of course just north of Gatlinburg. Okay, so, and there's stories about that too as we go through it, because when I did the through hike at the Appalachian Trail in 2018, yeah, Gatlinburg was a notable spot. Okay, so anyway, so we're going to have this homesteading piece where we are building. Let me just grab you here, trying to not get my thumb in the thing. Okay, so we're going to be doing a lot of different things here on the homestead. So right now we're walking up to an area about halfway between the house and the barn. There's like a little finger that goes off down a steep area. The farmhouse, which we're going to use as a guest house, overlooks this little peninsula or finger. And at the bottom of it, we're going to dig a pond. And then we're hoping to get wood ducks and other creatures. Saber, here. Oh, there he is. Look at him, mini long-haired dachshund. English cream, look at him. You don't get any goofier than that. Anyway, he's awful cute. So anyway, we're gonna have this pond, and here's the finger. Here's what it looks like. And so it goes down. Now this area goes down into one part of the hollow, and this area, of course, goes down into the other, and then they meet up down at the bottom, because those are both, you can imagine, there are springs going down those from those hills, and also runoff. So quite a bit of water goes down that way. So we said, oh, let's put a pond in. Now, to enjoy the pond on this finger, we're going to get like an Airstream trailer. Put a platform, make a platform that it'll sit on, and then, steps and stuff. That crazy man right there, that's Remington. He's a Brittany, and he's crazy, but he's a good bird dog. So we're gonna go some bird hunting. He was actually in the, look at him. He was in the intro as well. Of course, they both were. But he was actually in the intro hunting with me. So anyway, hey, back to the point. So, on here we're going to put like an Airstream trailer, deck it all out with lights and stuff, and have it as like a bar car. And then when we're on that, and on the platform, you can see down the hill, hopefully you can kind of see that. That's where the pond's gonna be. And then I'll put some boxes down there and everything to get some nesting boxes for like wood ducks. I'd like to get a barred owl in here too. Maybe over on the other side of the property, which you'll see. That's where Rochelle is going to be putting her vegetable garden in. We're going to have an apiary over there with bees, and we're going to have an orchard. So all of that you'll get to see on the channel, some things. So that farmhouse right there was built originally in 1860. It's actually registered in 1932 because apparently there was like a fire or something, must have destroyed it, and so when they built it back, that's when the property was actually, or the house was actually registered. But the building off to the side of it, the dark one, that's a cool building. I can't wait to show it to you. It's an old smokehouse, and they also salt pigs in there. And then the one next to it, which is just a block building, is, as we would expect, is a well house. Okay. But that one building is really cool. I mean, it is like pioneer. It goes back, it goes back to the 1860s. And so it really looks like pioneers. I mean, obviously a lot of people had already traveled through here heading west in eastern Tennessee. But a lot were still heading that way. And that building is really reminiscent of that. Have a little bit of aircraft traffic tonight, I noticed. We get a little bit because since we're near Sevierville has a lot of resources because it's such a tourist area, and the LeConte Medical Center, where Dolly Parton has invested a lot of money, women's clinic is there, and so they have, of course, Life Flight and everything. So we do get a little bit of that. The other thing is, if you were to just jump over this hill, you'd be at Douglas, what they call Douglas Lake, but it's actually a TVA reservoir. And so it's close as the crow flies, and it's probably about a, 8-minute drive, something like that. But this here is English Mountain. If you have ever been through eastern Tennessee or know anything about it, sort of the famous local spring water that you can get in bottles and stuff is English Mountain spring water. that is that long ridge line right there, and this is appropriately called round top. You have to forgive me for being out of breath. Not used to walking up and down hills. Of course, I say that after having hiked 2,190.9 miles on the Appalachian Trail between February and August of 2018. But the trail prepares you as you go along for that. If you want to see that, you can jump over onto Scars on the Appalachian Trail, or Scars on the AT, I think it was, and see what that is. But on this channel, the point of it is this. You know, we have in our society now so much distraction from all of the good things that are available to us, all of the opportunities, and all the lessons learned. You know, we're sort of raising generations of folks who don't appreciate where we came from to get this. And if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. So this channel is going to highlight many of the great opportunities, but also with the sort of homesteading piece, a lot of the just traditional skills that, you know, are fundamental to growing up as a young man or a young woman. And that includes shooting too, includes fishing. So we, this is just a shed. Got some subcompact tractors here, zero-turn mower, which is absolutely a friggin' terrifying experience, because you can tell, just look at that, you can just tell from these rolling hills, it's very slippery on a zero-turn mower, which is designed basically for a golf course or something, but it is literally terrifying. I have plummeted down these hills already 3 times. I've only driven the thing maybe 4 times or 5, but you can see, look at this, all drops off. You can't get anywhere near this. I don't even try. But even on that little knoll right there, this little knoll right here, you can't really see it from here, but I was just cruising along this knoll, and right at the top, and there's a little saddle in it, almost like right there, there's a little bit of a saddle. So where the rest of it's, of course, sort of fine, you hit that little saddle, and the saddle may be very small, but it's greater than 15 degrees. Next thing you know, the back end comes out. And the crazy thing about a zero-turn mower is it has no brakes. You can go forward, you can go backward, you can be in neutral. It has a parking brake, but it has no brakes. So as a consequence, when your back end starts sliding out on the mower and you start to go into a skid, first your natural reaction is to back up, but you're already sliding, so the tires are just going to spin. So they do. So that doesn't give you anything. The only way to theoretically get out of it is to turn, of course, with the slide, because if you go sideways, you roll that thing over, yeah, you're dead, or seriously damn injured. So the natural thing, of course, the way to get it out of it is to steer into the skid, and then to give it gas. You have to give it gas. You don't have a choice, because the only way to steer is to give. It's like a skid steer. The only way to steer is to give power. Forward power or reverse power, meaning counter. So if you want to turn, obviously zero turn, and you wanted to go to the right, you'd go forward, forward left, and back right, and you would, it would just rotate you on your axis. That's great. Now you're in a skid. going down a hill, and you have to give it power forward into the threat, into the downhill, which means you are going to plummet down that hill. And I have 3 times already, and I've been out on it maybe 5 times. Ah, my God, it's terrifying. Anyway, I'll take you out on it, because if you haven't had a zero-turn mower, it's something to actually talk about and to consider. So hopefully we'll be able to give you some useful information as we go about this. I'm rambling on a little bit, but this is the beginning, okay? And I just want to give you a sense of what is going to be on the channel. Now, because it says you got that right, you may think that this is a political channel. It's not a political channel, but you may pull from it some political positions simply because these traditional values, these traditional abilities or skills, you may say, oh, well, you know, that's not progressive. Well, I don't know whether it's progressive or not, but the future is often, in many ways, the past. And I think if you look at what's going on now, you see a lot of people moving away from the coasts and out of the cities into the interior and into the towns. So I would say if you have that sort of migration, that's progressive. So I don't know. You can cast whatever die you want on it. But so some will say, oh, you got that right, refers to politics. Others will say, you got that right, meaning you've got that right. The right to do something, the right, the freedom, the liberty to ride a motorcycle, to fly a light aircraft, to go out deep sea fishing, to build a homestead. So that's a right. Maybe the you got that right is rights, liberties, freedoms. To some people, that's how they're going to interpret it. And then other people are going to interpret saying, you got that right, as in right or wrong. No, that isn't right. Here, you got that right. And the other is just sort of sarcasm, which is, yeah, you got that right. Darn right, sort of sarcasm. Darn right. So it is whatever you want it to be. It doesn't matter. What it is to us is just an exploration of life and enjoying life. So just to touch on a couple things that I know from other channels people are going to talk about. They're going to say, oh, you know, you're rich. You know, I can't associate with you or can't understand you because you're rich. You have a house in Williamsburg. You have a house here in Dandridge, Tennessee. You know, oh, you got all this money. You're just, you know, making this up. Well, we're not rich, but we have had decades of a career living overseas. Me with the CIA. And we have no kids. So we have what we need in order to, you know, enjoy life without having the sort of extended family that, you know, most people have and enjoy. We don't have that. So true, we sort of are more adventurous in that regard because we don't have anybody to watch out for. We don't have anybody to think about as we go about our life. So because of that, we have a certain degree of liberty and freedom. But it comes at a loss, right? I mean, it comes at a cost, It comes at a cost, and that cost is not having the family structure in something. The only family we got are 2 mutts of dubious distinction. Saber? You're kind of cute. Kind of goofy, but kind of cute. Oh, hell. Look at this. Look at this. Come here, come here. Look what he's rolling. Here. Look what he's rolling. He's rolling. Look at this, see? In Williamsburg, we have a dog shower that we had built into the mudroom along with their crates, because they're crate trained. So we had the crates built into the cabinets, and then a shower, a towel shower, because twice a day I have to hose down both of them, but mostly Remington. But you can see, if they can get into something and roll around in it, they will. Now this, I don't know, it's pretty wet. It could be coyote poop, could be bear poop, probably something like that by the looks of it. It looks too big to be raccoon, but it could be just something like raccoon. Anyway, this is what they do. So that means I gotta take them back into the house, and then here we just, in the little farmhouse, it's just 1.5 baths, so we don't even have a bathtub, we just have a shower. So I just take the extended handle wand, I guess they call them, and bring it down and hose him down, but I'll actually have to bathe him. Oh my God. Okay, doesn't matter. Those are the joys of life. Doesn't matter, right? Yeah, you got that right. It doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so that's where we are. That's sort of what the channel is. Those are some of the aspects of sort of the family relationship, just Rochelle and I, of course, and friends. The dogs, Remington and Saber. Remington is a Brittany at point right now. And Saber is a mini long-haired dachshund, English cream. Okay, here. Yep. Got to get him to break point, because normally I'd go down and touch him on the head to get him to break point, but can't do that right now. Okay, so that's where we are. That's the channel. We'll just kick this off for now and enjoy the sunset as it goes down behind me. The sky will just open up with salmon and orange. Beautiful. We get great sunrises and sunsets because the sunrise is right over the house, which is just obviously down this hill, and sunset is right in front of the house. Beautiful. Okay, you'll see it a lot of times, so here we go. Hit that like button if you're interested. Hit that like button if just being out there, seeing maybe just America, maybe a lot more than America. We can pull pictures from other places. I don't know if we'll travel or not. I'm not really interested in it. Spent an entire career, 30 years of my life traveling. Overseas. It got worse and worse dealing with TSA and all the things. I can't really complain since I was involved in a lot of the 9/11 things. So anyway, that's where we are, our righteous friends. Let's roll. And I will come back to you maybe tomorrow when we're building the she shed, which I don't know if you can see it right down there in another little finger that juts down, but you'll see it tomorrow. All right, see ya.